Well, what do you normally do? Yes, and to comb your hair.
Not quiet.
No, you are not quiet.
Now, for some reason, I can't find my hive tool, but I got the smoker going. We're going to take a look at the hive. We're going to feed them. I haven't fed them in a while. Really need to get to it. Alright, I don't know. There's the queen. Assume you guys can see her. She's doing her business. We got nice full pulled out. There we go, guys. Hive looks good. Queen's productive. It's almost completely pulled. Almost all those frames are pulled. It's going to be time to put a new super on top of it soon. Probably another 2, maybe 3 weeks. I'll put another super on with new frames, checkerboard it, and we'll be good to go. We've decided to put this wood chipper to work finally. As you see, we've got a big pile of chips here. And what we've done is we filled this branch with all these logs. They're too big to fit in the chipper. And then we chip everything that's big enough to go through the chipper and bury it. So we're going to have a ton of organic matter right here decomposing, feeding the system. What we're going to do is take all the stuff that I can get that's in this section of the food forest and just chip it. Now, one of the first things I did when I started here is I planted these moringa trees. You look, we've got these here. Got a bunch of these. Now, this time of year, I would normally coppice these and put them in the chipper. And as you see, there's a reason I'm not doing that. Right there. We want as many seeds as possible because we want to plant as many of these as humanly possible. We also use Legumes, which is another legume. It's a fast-growing pioneer species that dumps nitrogen in the soil. When we run this through the chipper, this is going to put a ton of nitrogen in the mulch, as well as dumping all that nitrogen in the soil from the root system. Here's an example of what we do. This moringa, we coppiced this a few weeks ago. And take a look at it. It's growing back already. We're going to cut and chip this thing dozens, if not hundreds of times between now and the day this thing finally dies. I keep showing Legumes because here in the tropics, this thing grows everywhere, especially pioneer areas. Areas that need it, it grows. And this area, clearly, we need it. But I was having a hard time getting legumes to grow when I planted out this food forest, and now we're finally getting the pioneers in place. In a year, this will be big enough that we can coppice it and turn it into chips that we can then use to mulch and fertilize this entire area. One of the things we focus on in permaculture is working with nature, not against nature. You don't want to fight nature. We also don't want to be using chemicals to kind of battle nature either. We want it totally natural, totally organic. And the best way to do that is to look at the natural systems and copy them. We want the trees to go big enough that we can coppice them and then turn them into this. These wood chips are then going to be spread out, and we're going to use them as they decompose. They're going to feed the soil. This is pigeon pea. Here in Jamaica, they refer to it as gunga pea. This, when done, after we harvest this, we're going to cut it and throw it in the chipper, turn it into mulch. But we're going to get peas out of it first. And when we cut it, it's going to dump all the roots into the ground, and those roots are covered with nitrogen, and this is increasing the fertility and organic matter in the soil. Well, that's a quick look at how we use pioneer species to create mulch for our system. This is a long-term system. We're not doing this for this month or next year. We're doing this for 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Personally, I'm doing it for 15 to 20 years when my kids go to college. So we're looking at long-term sustainability, not short-term quick gain. We want to increase the fertility of the soil, and the best way to do that is to mimic nature. Copy the way God designed. Take a look at the system that was put in place. How would God fix it? How can we take his system and speed it up? I had to do a few things with the shy one this morning, so we got out here really late. Just the way it is sometimes. I didn't get as much done as I had hoped, but I did get something done. So, it's all you can ask. Get something done every day. It's my goal. Something done every day. Not always as much as I had hoped, but at least it's something. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get more done then. That's it, guys. God bless. Oh, you're having ice cream.
Oh, my ice cream is down.
Well, you better eat it before it melts all. Eat it up.